what you learned in school. Never mind what your parents told you, and disregard what your friends say. From now on, the only people you need to listen to are these guys. For the next several minutes, they'll take you on a journey through the political jungle. And when your journey is over and you're safe at home, they promise you'll be stronger, smarter, and just plain better. So buckle up, hang on to your ears, because your journey starts now. Welcome to another episode of At Odds.
Hello.
We're sitting in the back room of the Doubleheader Barn Studio in the greater Lansing area in the great state of Michigan. In what country, Nate?
Bangladesh.
Today's show is a serious show. We will be discussing the Benghazi attack. When did the White House know? And could they have prevented the deaths by sending in help when they were asked for?
Mm-hmm.
We're finding out a lot of information about this. You know, immediately after the attack, the White House blamed a YouTube video that was anti-Muslim, anti-Islam. The White House said that the reason for the attack, which occurred on, the anniversary of 9/11, on 9/11 this year, was due to this horrible, video that was made, and it upset some people.
It was the video, Innocence of Muhammad. The Innocence of Muhammad is what the video was called.
I watched it.
Yeah, so did I.
It's horribly
about 15 minutes long. Terrible video.
Yeah, you can obviously see dubbed in voices. The actors were not aware of what this was really about. It was originally called The Desert Warrior, and it was supposed to be a quasi-historical movie about a warrior in the Middle East, and they didn't realize that the producers were going to use it as a propaganda piece. But the White House was saying that, this was in response to this, even though the video had been on YouTube for several months before this attack took place. A little fishy.
Yeah, and the guy even had a premiere. He rented out a theater and did a premiere, and like 12 people showed up to the premiere.
Well, the idea was that
nobody saw this video.
Right. And the idea also was that, it just wasn't released, and then this spontaneous protest took place. Not the case at all.
Right. Yeah. And
do we have any people saying, what'd the press secretary say?
Jay Carney. Let's see here.
He said something.
This is a fairly volatile situation, and it is in response not to United States policy.
Oh, no.
Not to, obviously, the administration, not to the American people. It is in response to a video, a film.
So this idiot child spokesperson out here, Jay Carney.
You love him.
I don't.
You love him.
Yeah.
You said he was cute.
He comes out, just because he's cute, Brian, doesn't mean he's not an idiot.
Okay, that's true. Look at me.
And he's not cute either. Have you seen him?
I'm beautiful.
I mean, come on.
And I'm an idiot.
Obviously, this is not a response to the administration. Obviously, because
they can do no wrong.
Barack Hussein Obama is the great unifier.
Godlike.
The Messiah. He said.
Not the God, a God.
Little g.
Yeah.
He said that when he was elected and inaugurated, that the Muslim world would come to love America again.
Because only he understood them.
That's right, and I think that's part of why this Benghazi attack got as bad as it was. And we'll get into that, but it would have looked really bad to have trumped up security in Libya, and to have our forces go in there. It would have looked bad as far as Obama claiming to have killed Al-Qaeda. He said over and over again, up until recently when he finally took it out of his stump speeches, he said Al-Qaeda is on his heels, right? Osama's dead, GM's alive, and Al-Qaeda is on its heels. And yeah, maybe Al-Qaeda is smaller than it was, but they're not any less aggressive.
They're not gone.
They're not gone. They don't hate us any less.
They're regrouping.
They are,
but on the other hand, I don't know that they're as great a threat as our government would like them to be, because I think they use it as an excuse to take away our civil rights. But that's another issue and another show.
It is, and I don't think Obama sees
every
it like
government
that at all.
has to have an enemy.
I don't think he sees it like that at all, because if he did, he would have blamed this on it, and we had his spokesperson come out, right, Carney, and say this was obviously a video, and then we had Barack Hussein Obama himself speaking at the UN.
In every country, there are those who find different religious beliefs threatening. In every culture, those who love freedom for themselves must ask themselves how much they're willing to tolerate freedom for others. And that is what we saw play out in the last 2 weeks. As a crude and disgusting video sparked outrage throughout the Muslim world.
Weeks ago. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, I have made it clear that the United States government had nothing to do with this video. And I believe its message must be rejected by all who respect our common humanity.
First, I just want to ask, did he bring back the godlike reverb that he used to have in all of his speeches? Did you hear that in the clip? I didn't.
No, I didn't.
I didn't notice it before, but if you listen to his voice.
Okay, please.
In every country, there are those who find different religious beliefs threatening.
I don't know. That's just a side point. He used to always have that reverb, but and it may have just been the venue or
certainly
the audio
venue.
I had.
Let's go with that.
That's fine.
Let's go with
that's
that.
fine. That was.
I don't know that was
a bit of a joke there.
Played in there afterwards. And I.
He was blaming it on the video. It took them 2 weeks, 14 days for the administration to come out and call this an act of terrorism and not a spontaneous protest that came about because of this video on YouTube.
And I remember reading some reports that were saying that, the reason that he was adamant that our government didn't produce this was because that so many of these Middle Eastern countries are so controlled by their own governments that they would find it hard to believe that an independent filmmaker not associated with the government could make and produce such a document.
Yeah, and they were saying, why did you allow the citizen of your country to make this video and to put it out there, and why haven't you arrested him and stoned him to death?
Of
right?
freedom of
right.
speech.
And in the UN speech, I don't have the clip, but Obama brought that up, basically saying, well, I understand that you guys don't like our First Amendment, but, saying, don't worry, I would ban this sort of thing, and I would arrest this guy if I could.
Pesky First Amendment.
That Constitution gets in the way.
Damn it!
I
hate that thing.
Yeah, that Constitution. It's a living, breathing document that needs to be reformed.
But in the last few days, we've got new.
Yeah, no, obviously
you're
joking,
being facetious,
obviously about the Constitution.
I think so. It's not a bad document.
Nearly perfect, I'd say.
You could say that maybe, but
I did say that.
Anyways, what we found out in the last few days is that they did know this was a terrorist attack.
Yes.
Not only that, but there seems to be some evidence, and we can get into this a little bit, but seems to be evidence that not only did they know it was going on and that it was a terrorist attack and well executed via emails that the State Department received, along with several other government agencies, including the FBI, White House Situation Room, and so on. But there may have been a drone filming this in live action, and they were actually watching this attack take place.
Yeah, and that was
I don't know
that
if
was actually confirmed.
That was? Because I wasn't sure.
Yeah. That's what's so troubling about it is we've spent so much money on these drones. Obama ramped up the drones.
Absolutely great technology. Can be used for good or evil, like all technology.
And our EPA has them, and they're flying around the country spying on farmers. That's evil. That is evil, is what that is. But when you have an embassy being attacked,
not EPA, the Department of Ag. They're using.
Well, maybe both.
No, the Department of Ag.
The EPA.
Well, they might be looking for violations, but as far as agriculture goes, we subsidize certain farmers for not growing crops. And, you know, that's the conservation
right.
reserve program or whatever.
Sure.
And so what these drones are doing are taking pictures of farmers' fields to see if they're actually keeping these areas fallow,
right,
and not planting on them, and they will continue to get their subsidies, or if they are double dipping and planting as well as getting the reserve money, so that they're using it for that, which, you know, you could argue that it's wrong, but on the other hand, these are taxpayer money that's going into subsidizing these farmers. And what's the difference between sending up a drone, which is more efficient, than sending an agent on the field and going out and seeing if these farmers are indeed planting or not planting their fields?
Well, I mean,
the idea is maybe to get rid of, you know, the subsidies.
Yeah, like everything else, it's a bigger issue. Farm subsidies are wrong.
Yeah. So,
yes,
the reserve,
especially at a federal level, they are wrong.
Okay. But anyway, so there might be some evidence, and you're saying that it was confirmed. When I was reading it, there might be some questions of whether it was, but I knew that there were a couple of drones in the area that could fly over the area and give feedback of video of the attack.
This video is broadcast in real time to hundreds of stations around the world, including the Situation Room in the White House, which is, the president sits in his office, right? If he goes downstairs below him, Situation Room's there. I've never been in the White House, but this is what I've seen. He had Leon Panetta, the defense secretary, in his office in a meeting while this was going on. Certainly he knew about the drone video.
Well, I think Clinton was there, the Secretary of State.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure if she was in the meeting.
I would hope so.
You would think she would know about this video. Why did they not go down there? And I think they probably did.
Yeah.
But shouldn't they have seen the video and known that there was no protests going on? The mayor of Benghazi came out and said there was no protest ahead of this. How do they ignore the video, or how do they see what's going on and not help? And what we've seen come out recently, besides these emails, is Navy SEALs requesting permission to help out.
Well, let's not get into that, because we got some things that we can talk about. There was some foreshadowing going on with requests for added security and stuff. But let's look at the emails here. A couple of things. These emails were sent out. There were some emails that apparently said that they got some information off of social networks, Facebook and Twitter, that, you know, some Al-Qaeda terror groups were claiming responsibility.
Ansar al-Sharia.
Yeah.
Or Sharia. I mean, Ansar al-Sharia.
But we'll give you a timeline here.
Yeah, these emails were being delivered as this attack was going on.
In real time.
And they were delivered to several top people in the State Department.
Right. And I think I think they knew what was going on. And I'm wondering why. The question is, of course, why they sat on their asses. And we'll get to that in a minute. But I'll read you the first email. Was sent at 4 p.m. our time, 10 o'clock in Libya, and the regional security officer. This is the email. And I'm reading it quote because I have a CNN document of it, a photocopy of it. The regional security officer reports the diplomatic mission is under attack. The embassy Tripoli reports approximately 20 armed people fired shots. Explosions have been heard as well. And that Ambassador Stevens, who is currently in Benghazi, and 4 COM personnel are in the compound safe haven, and that the 17th of February militia is providing security support, and that the operations center will provide updates as available. So we have one email going out to several agencies saying we're under attack. They didn't say it's a protest.
Right.
They didn't say people are screaming in the streets, and it just spontaneously happened. This was a